Hi everybody! For today's video lesson, we're going to take a little time to get you ready to compose your argument essay outline. In today's presentation, we're going to talk about the following. First, we're going to talk about the goal of an argument essay as opposed to a persuasive paper, which you may be assigned to write someday. We're going to talk about how to prepare to compose your outline. What work do you need to have already done so that you're ready to dive in? I have a few tips for you on how to outline. We're going to wrap up today by talking about the essential parts of an argument essay so that you know exactly what paragraphs and ideas you are including in the outline and how to structure that outline. Let's dive in. The goal of an argument essay. The author's purpose in crafting an argumentative essay is not to sell you on his or her point of view, but rather to present compelling evidence so that you acknowledge the validity of the argument. So an argument piece is more about logic and proving an idea. You're not necessarily trying to convince people to see things your way. That's what you would do in a persuasive piece. In a persuasive piece, you might use more emotional appeals to get people to change their behavior or do a call to action. In this piece, you're just trying to present a perspective and back it up with great evidence. Okay, so before you write, let's talk about what you need to do. You should take a little time to gather your source material and organize your ideas. First, what argument are you making in your paper? You should have already composed a thesis statement and submitted it to your instructor and received feedback on that thesis statement, so make sure you have that on hand. Have you already taken the time to do a little brainstorming and come up with 3 to 4 main ideas to support your stance? If not, before you begin, take a little time to complete that brainstorming exercise. I'll show you an example here in just a moment. It's not essential that you have all of your research on hand before you write an outline, though it's really helpful. But have you collected at least some solid, reliable evidence to support your ideas? In class, we learned about the Glendale Community College Library database page. You are required to use 1 or 2 sources from that database page in your argument essay. All of those sources would already be vetted. They're already great pieces of research that you can use to support your argument that you're crafting. We also learned about how to make sure that a source that you acquired from the internet is a good source to use in your paper. And that is through the CRAP test, C-R-A-A-P. So as a reminder, the CRAP test that you would apply to any source you found on the internet would be you would check for its currency. Is it current? Is it recent? Is it relevant to your topic? Is there good authority of the author and of the publication website? Is the information accurate? What's the purpose? Are they trying to sell you something, or is this informative? If you're still at the brainstorming stage, here's a little example for you to check out. So we could see here that this person's essay, the topic is that shopping locally is better for one's community. And here we have 3 main arguments that could support this main idea. There's the argument that shopping locally reduces pollution, that shopping locally helps the local economy, and that shopping locally creates a greater sense of community within one city or town. Off to the side here, we have smaller points that would be used to support the paragraph idea. So reduction in packaging and the fact that produce does not travel across the country or the world supports the idea that shopping locally reduces pollution. Shopping locally, when one does that, money stays in the community and it also creates local jobs. So there's an argument to be made there that it helps the economy. Ignore these little no's and option and no. That's just the program that I used, and looks like I accidentally left those in, and I'm going to roll with it. The third argument here is that shopping locally helps create a strong community through unique restaurants and unique shops. So this would be, my thesis would have to do with shopping locally is better for one's community. This would be a body paragraph. This would be a body paragraph. And this would be a body paragraph. After that, though, we're going to present a counter argument. What are people going to say is the reason to not shop locally? Well, some people might argue that it's inconvenient and that it's expensive. So after our 3 main argument paragraphs, we're going to present that counter argument using research. Somebody says that it's inconvenient and that it's expensive. Let's find somebody who is voicing that opinion, and then we'll have one more body paragraph where we try to dismantle that argument before the conclusion. But you can see that spending a little bit of time doing this helped me to gather my ideas and know where I'm going in my outline. So let's talk about that outline. Here are a few tips for you. You're going to use the Roman numeral structure, which I'll show you in just a moment. Each line of the outline should express one idea in one sentence. Sometimes I'll see an outline where there's a Roman numeral and then there's a full paragraph and there's 5 sentences. That's not the goal of an outline. The goal of an outline is to see the skeleton of the idea. It's just to see the bones. We want to separate it out. We don't want to see everything in one big blob. Number 3, if you can, if you're at this stage, do yourself a favor and support the claims that you make in your paragraphs with source material. Remember that you are required to use source material from the GCC database, but you may also choose to use internet sources that have been CRAP tested. Okay, structure. This is the structure of what you need to cover in your outline, and obviously, therefore, you will also cover this in your rough draft. So you're going to outline your introductory paragraph, 3 argument paragraphs at least. You want to present that counter argument in a paragraph, present the rebuttal, where whatever main points are brought up in the counter argument you then dispute, and then a conclusion. So if we were to count this up, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs when all is said and done. Okay, let's take a look. So when you log into Canvas and you pull up the argument outline assignment, you're going to see this structure. Roman numeral 1, hook. What are you going to do to engage your reader? A, you could do A, B, C, as many pieces of information as you need for a little bit of background information on your topic. If we were writing about the topic of shopping locally, maybe we would define that what that was, give some examples, give some statistics maybe. And then your thesis statement, which again, you should have submitted in Canvas to your instructor and received some feedback on before spring break. Main argument 1. So for Roman numeral 2, you'd write out your topic sentence and then a supporting idea. So maybe my topic sentence here would be shopping locally helps the economy. Okay, supporting argument number 1. It helps the economy by creating local jobs. Here's where I would give examples of those local jobs. Maybe I would have a quote from the Arizona Republic about local jobs, something about maybe a statistic about how much local employment helps fuel the economy. This is where I'm going to give the support for that idea. Now I've got another main idea. Shopping locally helps the economy by keeping money in that community. Oh, bear with me for a moment. There we go. So if I'm on number B, shopping locally helps by keeping money in the economy. Okay, here's where I'm going to give examples and details and source material to support that idea. When you write your actual paragraph in the rough draft, you're going to flesh it out with some commentary, some closure, some actual argument kind of language. Here, we're just looking at that skeleton. We just want the supporting ideas and whatever source material and details and examples you have to support that idea. So then, you would do it again. Main argument 2. Shopping locally helps reduce pollution. There'd be my topic sentence. Shopping locally helps reduce pollution by reducing plastic. And then maybe I'm going to talk about how if you go to a farmer's market, you're shopping out of a bin of bell peppers rather than picking up a bag of bell peppers that's wrapped in plastic. Second main idea, as we saw in that brainstorming mind map, shopping locally helps reduce pollution because the produce has not been shipped across the country or the world. Then I would give examples or details about how, tomatoes may be grown in Guatemala and they're packaged and shipped and they're on trucks and they're on airplanes, etc. So you'd have all those examples, details, and source material there to support it. So, and so forth and so on. You get the idea. As long as you've covered intro, 1, 2, and then a third body paragraph, the counter argument and rebuttal, and a conclusion, you're good to go. That whole structure is available to you in Canvas within the assignment. So let's talk about that assignment. Log into Canvas and read the argument outline assignment. Compose your outline. Please type it. You could use Microsoft Word or my favorite, Google Docs. Remember that if you write in a Google document, you'll never lose it. If you are ready to, add in that research and that supporting material now, and then submit that outline in Canvas when it has been edited and it is complete. And your instructor can then give you feedback on your outline. Next steps. So this is after you've done that, let's talk about what's coming up. When your outline is complete and you've submitted it, you can begin to flesh out your ideas into a rough draft. I love this part. Just pull out the Roman numerals, the 1s and the A's, and start building it into a paragraph. If you've not already, add source material or add more source material to support your argument. You notice here that your is capitalized. Sometimes I'll see a young writer who leads with the argument that somebody else has made. Michael Pollan says that people should cook at home, and then the writer will talk about that. No, no, no. Do the opposite. What do you think about cooking at home? Do you think people should cook at home? Well, then use Michael Pollan to support your point of view. There we go. It's being a little glitchy today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. When you put things into your argument outline, if you've not already done so, make sure you are citing your source material. As you know, we have 2 ways to cite source material. We talked about this before spring break, and also you're going to be doing some library tutorials to help you with citation. So you can cite through a formal signal phrase. That might look something like this, according to Michael Pollan in his book, The Omnivore's Dilemma from 2006, and then there's a quote. Or you could do it parenthetically, which means in parentheses. Here's an example of that. Though many believe that chicken nuggets are made of chicken, in fact, comma, quote, the most alarming ingredient in a chicken McNugget is tertiary, I'm not even going to try and say that word, butyl hydroquinone, or TBHQ, blah, 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 blah. You could see at the end then we've got a citation for Michael Pollan's Omnivore Dilemma book in parentheses with a period at the end. So make sure that as you move into your rough draft, you begin citing your sources if you've not done so already. And finally, of course, make sure that you're gathering information for your works cited page. You can use a citation generator, something like NightCite can help you cite your sources for your works cited page. Also, the GCC Arizona Library webpage has a lot of sources, a lot of helpful information for you on creating works cited pages there. And you could also find information and some supplementary information on how to cite things on a works cited page within Canvas. So, I feel that you are ready to write your argument outline. You have all the tools that you need, and you've got the steps laid out for you. If you have any questions, quandaries, or issues, please contact your instructor in Canvas, and we'll get back to you. Good luck, everybody, and we'll see you in Canvas.